Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to get stoned tonight on the show, and we're going to actually have a very, very good time. This is going to be a very, very good show. So let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Peace, peace, shalom, Islam, assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, hotep, what's up, and all those other good greetings that we have for one another. I want to welcome a wonderful guest speaker tonight. His name is Amun Neteru, and I want to introduce him. It's pronounced Scorpius Ray. Is that correct?
Scorpius Ray. That's another facet of my Amun.
Okay. Scorpius Ray. He is the visionary founder of Temple of Soul, spelled SOL, LLC Enlightenment Center and Art Gallery. He currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia. The mantra, Movement for Self-Improvement, expresses his supernatural devotion to influence the international world through art, music, theater, philosophy, literature, and adventure. We perceive that all beings are on the path towards the universal self, and he is here to exemplify this. His accomplishments include 7 completed albums under a previous moniker, Amun Mirage, 30 plus produced hip hop soul theater events between Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Chicago, entitled Random Rhythm Art and Divine Unity Movement, 20 plus years of crystal and stone healing, energy field, and alchemy work, as well as a trailblazer in the crystal wire artist and entrepreneurship movement. Accomplished youth leadership mentor and spiritual counselor, experienced midwife, 25 years plus in public speaking and a master of ceremonies, songwriter, lyricist, and recording artist with live performance experiences alongside an opening for The Roots, Jill Scott, Stevie Wonder, and India Irie. He has a BS in Marketing Administration from Cheney University of Pennsylvania. Welcome back, Amun.
Hey, what's up, sister? How are you?
I am well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad to be here.
I miss you. I miss your energy. So tell us what we have to look forward to tonight.
Well, so I do workshops pretty frequently. But we always come up with a different approach for everyone, just so that it feels fresh and organic. That I'm bringing the best. Maybe move my camera, make sure I'm in the right position. Sometimes things are weird. So tonight we're gonna do the discovering the sacred self, and the 7 sacred stones.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get into some. I am probably like the master of the tangent, because as I am sharing information, things trigger to just awaken other aspects of what's being discussed. So but we're really talking about self-discovery here. And I think that many of people who are on the path, even people who already know themselves, there's different points of life where you slow down. And other points of life where you go through a quickening. And sometimes when you slow down, you get tired and you forget, or you lose your excitement. And so there are doorways to your own creative process, your self-discovery process, that don't get investigated. And then sometimes you're having a quickening where focusing on one aspect of yourself that's really doing it for you causes you to go through like a burst and you make breakthroughs. But when you're making that burst and breakthroughs, you speed past a bunch of doors. So, you know, this self-discovery that I'm speaking on is something of value for anybody, whether you're an initiate or whether you're someone who is, you know, many years advanced in a certain lifestyle or culture. There's definitely some gateways to, you know, the universal manifestation that we live in called this human body. That, you know, those synaptic doorways between the higher spiritual realms and the mysteries of your everyday self. You know, it can be achieved when you make these discoveries.
Definitely. I'm going to go through some of the stones and you tell me how you want me to present different things. Because I'm a student here as well as a hostess. I just, you know, love the fact that I can bring you to the show to teach not only myself, but other people who are interested in stones. And so just tell me how you want me to do the changing of the pictures, but I'm going to give the floor to you now. And I have my pen and paper and I will be asking questions, but I'll let you go until, and then maybe the last 15 minutes we can get into asking questions.
Yeah, and you know, if and you know, if you have some stimulate, if you got questions that come up along the path, sometimes that just helps the conversation feel more flowy to the other listeners too. As far as the pictures, you can just randomly flip through those pictures because the stones that I'm speaking about this evening are stones that I have right in front of me. The pictures that I sent you were just examples of my artwork, which that's a really interesting piece you started with. I love that bracelet. That's the only one like it, but we'll get into that. But you know what, start me off with questions and then I'll dive into this that I got right here. So yes.
Okay, so my eyes are not good. So where do stones originate?
Okay, well, that's a great question. So what we are experiencing with this crystal stone movement right now, this what I would call earth keepers, earth science awakening in us, is really us making a connection with the planet and the planet's inner self, right? So much of what we've been doing and what we've been dealing with has been on the surface, right? Like even in most of our everyday social interactions, there's so much surface things going on, right? So much about presentation, right? And so it's gotten so high speed and surface that what happens is now you have a bunch of shallow people, right? A bunch of people who don't know anything deeper about themselves. So these stones, and the answer to the question about where the stones come from, they come from the subterranean earth. They come from beneath the surface, sometimes beneath the sea, so beneath the surface of a mountain. Even though the mountain is penetrating surface level, within the mountain, there are minerals and elements that are, you know, pretty much every stone is a compound, a combination of natural elements, usually affected by oxygen or some other gas at some point to bring about an expansion, and the combination of such things, such as quartz crystal, for example. Quartz is silicon oxide, right? So it's silica, which is an element, and oxygen, which is an element. And the fusion of the silica and the oxygen have combined to create the mineral that we know as quartz, which, of course, quartz is the most abundant mineral on the planet Earth. There's more quartz here than any other thing. The conversation that people have in the early phases of this, people ask me all the time, Amun, do you believe that stones work? My response is, do you believe that your bones work? You see, because your bones are the crystals of the physical body. You know, the bones are the stones of your body. The bones grow in the body the same way that these stones grow in the earth. So, you know, when people try to make it all spooky and mystical, nah, you're practicing the art of yourself in internal and external ways. So when we get into these stones, we're dealing with the internal aspect of the planet that we live on. and creating a vibrational relationship with these things. And it's just a little different from eating food, because what are you eating when you get nutrition, when you get vitamins and minerals? You're eating microscopic crystals. That's what makes all of these all the calcium and the magnesium and the selenium, and the manganese. All of these different things are molecular, particular crystals interacting in your body. And when you, of course, when you get into the physics of the physical world, the body is a vibrational vehicle. It's a series of alternating tones. So what we call solid isn't even really solid. It's energy vibrating at a certain state. And so that's where the relationship between the subterranean earth and the inner self begin their interaction. It's all about vibration.
Interesting. So when you say that they're found in the earth, is it in the mountains, or is it, or, and you said it's underneath the water as well, so it's in the seas, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Any and everywhere.
Everywhere. If right now, where all of us are at, if we just went down, I don't think you'd have to go down 5 feet before you start bumping into what we call stones, crystals, minerals. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, just like they're everywhere in us. They're everywhere in the earth. Now, how you make that relationship, how you build that relationship with yourself to be a more complete being, you know, those are the aspects of balancing out yourself and finding out where your deficiencies are, and in some cases where you're dealing with too much of something. Because sometimes, like for example, vitamin C, a lot of people need vitamin C, but there are some people who have overdosed on vitamin C, right? So sometimes you can have too much of something, and what you really need is something to help you balance out and eliminate. Other times you need something to help you attract and assimilate, right? But yeah, the minerals and the stones are all over the planet Earth. But then you have special stones, like some of the stones in our conversation tonight about the 7 sacred stones, that come from specific parts of the planet. So yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the good stones to use? Just say if you just want to if you are feeling off balance, like what's a simple stone that everyone can pretty much have in their collection that's just going to do the trick, no matter what?
Well, when we say do the trick, we
balance you out. Say, for instance, you're at work and you're just having, one of these days, some people go outside and smoke a cigarette. We go in our purse or in our pockets and pull out a stone. So what stones would you recommend as something basic? Because some stones can get expensive.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the most basic combinations of stones that you could have in your life is, one of them is hematite, which many people already know. Yep. Can they see me, or is the picture as big for them as it is for me?
Yeah,
right
let me take this off and then.
Cool. So you have hematite, which everybody knows, the super beautiful, shiny gray metallic stone, which is crystallized iron or iron stone, hematite. And then you got quartz crystal, right? So hematite and quartz, having some hematite and quartz in your life, excellent stones for balancing it out. Quartz more so for energetic movement, like letting the energy flow, letting the energy go. Hematite more for grounding the energy and putting it where it's supposed to be. So when you have these two together, you have two accomplices in light, as like light moving, and light constantly flowing how it should. Hence, clear quartz is crystal, but it's clear like the air. So it's like the bridge between the light element, the air element, and the earth element. And then hematite, solid, the metal, the metallic element, the grounding element, dealing a lot with foundation. So when you're dealing
Foundation.
with like a headache or something, right? Having a hematite to just massage your temples with, shucks, you can do it when you don't have a headache. Right now, this feels so good, and I just put it there. But yeah, you can use a piece of hematite, massage your temples. You can if you got a nice piece like this. Whoop,
Mhm.
if you got a nice piece like this one is magnetic as well. You can roll it. Oh, you can roll it on your forehead. And usually hematites, because they're iron, they be a little cold.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
so you can roll it on your forehead. You can roll it. You can, if you got the pointed ones like this,
Mm-hmm.
you can massage the pressure points of your body, like that part on your thumb behind your hand, in
Mm-hmm.
between your fingers. Massage, roll it on the back of your neck. Oh God, it's just such a good thing. So very simple, you know. What we are dealing with in these bodies energetically doesn't have to be complex.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we also have to remember that what we learn in the current world of quote medicine and pharmaceutical, a lot of the stuff we're learning is being communicated to us by the youngest people on the planet. These are when we talk about people as peoples, it's the youngest ones on the planet that people are getting information from on how to take care of these bodies.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't dealing with the indigenous people of this land in North America when it comes to how to heal this body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't dealing with the indigenous ones of South America, or the indigenous ones of the ones that know the earth, know the body, because knowing the body is knowing the earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, so hematite, and then clear quartz too. Clear quartz, a lot of times clear quartz, because quartz is a programmable stone. This stone is sensitive. It receives the photons of your energy, which your thoughts can literally communicate as impulses, and this quartz crystal can pick up on that and facilitate that. So if you're seeking clarity of mind, sometimes just holding on to your quartz
Mm-hmm.
and just rubbing it with your thumb, or once again, another thing you can do, you can put it on your metapon, you can put it on your forehead, rub your forehead with it, and just breathe, because once again, that quartz crystal, that clear crystal, it's connected to air. So when you're dealing with the clear quartz and you're doing your deep breathing and stuff, you're helping to release the blockages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because any form of stress is blockage. When things are flowing, there ain't no stress. When there's ease, there's not dis-ease, right? Because you're at ease. So it's one of your, what considered the mother of the crystal kingdom, quartz crystal. You
Okay.
know, excellent, excellent stone for that, and so many more things. Yep. So yeah, those are two ones that you can get fairly easily, and have in your arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, make your life easy.
So, if people want to contact you to even buy some of your stones, is the best place the email address?
So you want me to type it in?
Oh, I can put it in. I
Okay.
have, well, it's going on the bottom of the screen. I just have your
Okay.
email address. Is that?
So yeah, so it's Temple of Soul at 13, Temple of Soul 13 at gmail.com. That is my email address. You can always contact me there. I have a website, which is one of the photos I sent you has the all the info on it for the website. But the website is zodiankh.com. That's Zodiankh, zodiankh.com.
Okay.
Um, and then my Instagram is where a lot of people flock, and that is Temple of Soul, spelled the same way, on Instagram.
Okay. Thank you for that. So,
Yes.
how did you become interested in stones? Like, what happened for you to have a love?
So I, this is who I am. Like the seed the Most High planted in the earth. That came as the DNA of my mother and my father. I've been spinning up through my lifeline
Mm-hmm.
and down from the heavens, for all the time that I remember, right? So I've always been curious.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been interested in the unique things that we can call them spiritual. Um, but I would say things that are influential, and um because these things were mysterious but attractive to my young mind.
Mm-hmm.
um I only had to hear about it once. Well, I hear about it once. I'm like, huh? What's that? Now I couldn't jump all on everything at the same time, and
Mm-hmm.
even at where I am in my life currently, there are things that I feel like stones that I've left unturned, shall I say? Interestingly, the metaphor is about stone, but revelations. Studying revelations and hearing about New Jerusalem as the crystal city.
Mm.
A city with one gateway that was like sardonyx, and another one shone like jasper, and one gate shone like emerald, and these conversations about the end of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and um, the coming of the Messiah, and the coming of the Archangel Michael and the heavenly hosts, and all of the struggle that would be in the world. And me feeling as a child that more than that stuff being scary, it was exciting. And I instantly had a feeling that this is who I am, this is where we are, and that uh, I have a responsibility to do something good about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, to do something good about it. And so I often say, people say that this is the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And if so, you can see the dreadful part. So it's our choice as to whether or not we're going to be a part of the greatness or a part of the dread. You know, and that affirmation of I am, right? That power of I am to encode the part we play in this reality. But that revelations played a huge, gigantic part in um me being on this path of dealing with the stones. And then things came to me naturally too.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine um came and just put a bag of stones, just gave me a bag full of stones from this boutique that was in North Philly called Ohm's Boutique. He used to
Mm-hmm.
work with this old Indian man named Ohm. And Ohm was he was a unique Indian man
Mm-hmm.
to his people. He understood that many of the men that he referenced back home weren't the kind of man that he wanted to be. Um, but because of this, the way that they treated women,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't agree with that. So Ohm was an interesting man. I didn't get to know him, but he was my friend worked for him. He brought me a bag full of stones from Ohm's boutique, and I started working with the stones he had in my clay sculptures, and I was doing beading with them. Um, my lady at the time, this is going back to 96, she was also into stones and crystals. We would go to the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia and get raw amethyst crystals from the Franklin Institute, and started collecting stones from them. And so she was making jewelry as well, like some really amazing big pieces. And I started working with the wire way back then,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a constant for me yet. It was just a part of my artistic portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I traveled to Atlanta, traveled to DC. When I got to Chicago, within I say within a year and a half of me moving to Chicago, I had pliers in my hand, copper wires and stones, and I was on a whole new zone. Um, and yeah, that momentum has continued to this very day. But I give thanks to the sisters in Chicago. One sister, mother of my son and my daughter, Heru, who I see as my most consistent inspiration to really be on it like I became.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one sister named Anika. And Anika wasn't always an artist, but she just had eye for her eye for crafting. She made like 1 or 2 necklaces, and them jokes was giving off such a frequency. The frequency coming off of her artwork, it hit me. And I think that, having one friend that pushes you on one way and then another person that just mystifies you. I think those two sisters were like, okay, you know what, bruh? Go ahead and give this a shot. And once I did, I never turned back.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So this piece that's up, is that amethyst? And then
The top stone is, I think the top stone is I haven't, mind you, this piece is really, really old.
that's
I
beautiful.
think it's a piece of like a rhodonite. No, it's not rhodonite. It's too pink to be rhodonite. It's pink. It's pink. It's you know what that is? That's not. I don't. It's not pink opal. It's there's a name for this stone. I think it's pink opal, but sometimes it gets confused with another stone. And the one that's looking at us at the bottom is a rose quartz pyramid.
Oh,
So yeah, pink opal and a rose quartz pyramid.
that's a beautiful design.
Thank you.
And is this the rose quartz?
That's clear quartz.
Clear quartz.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one you were just talking about.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
that is
piece.
beautiful.
Yes.
That's a bracelet.
That's what we call a goddess bracelet.
Oh,
The bracelet and a ring connected. And interestingly enough, I took that picture in Washington, D.C.
really?
At the Zeta Phi Beta Grand Boulevard.
That is beautiful. So, how much is this set?
That bracelet ring combination sold for $450. And I have made a couple more over the years. I probably make one of those like that. I probably make one a year.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I would make more, but my mind gets so creative that I'll have on my mind to make, and yeah, the creative ideas come and flow through my mind like they be flying.
That is so wonderful.
When clients hit me up and they're like, I would like something like this, then I'll let them know whether I have the stones in stock, and they make a deposit. I start creating, and depending on the season, I might be shipping it off tomorrow.
Right.
And in other seasons, it might take me 10 to 12 days to ship off because it's festival season right now. So there's a variance in orders. Some orders are going right out because I'm just like in my work zone and the timing is correct. And other ones, probably will take me to the following week to really get it in. And even as my process evolves, I foresee that by the beginning of 2024, there'll probably be a waiting list, like official, because there are pieces that have to get made that are very elaborate and complex, and the collection is going, like, it's cycling up. So we're moving towards doing more stuff in 14 karat gold, white gold, rose gold. So yeah, things are shifting and changing. But yeah, I'm always creating. So
that's good. And then you have, customers like myself that will call you at any moment and just say, make me something because this is happening.
Yes.
And you just know what to do. So this piece here, both of these are necklaces, correct?
Those are ankhs that were made into necklaces. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I really, really, really miss that one on the left with the spirit amethyst, the red coral, and the garnet. My Lord. I had a nice collection of that spirit amethyst, and I haven't had any in my collection like those since. And these pieces were made around 2011.
Oh, so what's the red stone in the middle? What is
That's
that?
red coral.
Okay, red coral. And what's that? What does red coral do?
Red coral helps you to keep your demons in check.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Helps you to understand that, hey, everybody has a dark side. Everybody has habits that don't represent them their best.
Mm-hmm.
Red coral helps you to see clearly those things, and don't let your little egocentric characters keep hiding in the corners. Red coral brings them joints out, so you can, call them out and get it so that you can deal with them.
Mm.
You know, um, yeah, but coral in general is also good for the teeth, good for the bones, um, good for the framework of our body and the framework of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So a little dab will do you?
Well, it depends on the energetic sensitivity of the person
Oh.
and the uniqueness of that specimen. Because one thing we do know is that in certain cases, you can get an itty bitty 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 piece of a stone, and that little bitty piece be ringing. So sometimes it's not all about size. Sometimes big things come in small packages.
Oh.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but generally, a piece like that, just having it on your body, um, yeah. Once you wear any stone or crystal on your body, it has been, it's a part of the conversation of you, and then it's just a matter of how ready for balancing, transforming, whatever quality is communicating to you from the stone you
Mm-hmm.
are, or how stubborn you are. Because one thing about the stones is that they work along with your energy field. Stones don't make anything happen. People have asked, well, this stone is going to do okay. No, the stone's going to play its part in the harmony of your being,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good to have introduced this element to your energy field to assist you with. You know what I'm saying? So that's the language we use, to just to help people not be fanatical. You know what I mean? Because I study ancient Kemetic and a lot of international spiritual systems, but my foundation is the church, and so the reality of what they call idol worship is a real thing. But
Mm-hmm.
but the things don't do it. The stones don't do it. The statues don't do it. The fanatical person does it. And so we're always talking about the grand harmony of the Most High, or as we say in Islam, the grand harmony of Allah. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are instruments. They're instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And these instruments have qualities. And the more we are available to letting these instruments play their part, the more likely it is that we're going to experience a harmonious result. And I perceive that that's what most people are looking for, things to help them achieve harmonious results.
Wonderful.
And these are
So,
ankhs, you know what I'm saying? So even with
yes.
the sacred geometry of the ankh, with the womb, the phallus, and the left and right represent the masculine and feminine poles. You know what I'm saying? The circulation of the alternating current, the negative and the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, yeah.
That is really beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how much does a piece like this run for?
I haven't done one. I mean, with these stones
Mhm.
nowadays, the one on the left would probably be about 360.
Okay.
Hold up. Well, I guess it's all of our left. Yeah, the one with the red coral will be about 360 on a full chain, depending on the chain. If I put it on a Byzantine chain, it'll be more.
Hmm.
The one on the right will probably be about 250.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice pieces. And so, even with it being that way, you can still wash the stone. You can still wash it. It's not going to affect the copper or anything, correct?
No, the metals are good.
Hmm.
Like I tell everyone the same thing. My art is made to last. I'm very thorough about my craft. I'm not a new jack to the wire wrapping world at all. I'm one of the ones who spearheaded this wave of wire wrappers coast to coast. So I know how to make my pieces solid. And at the same time, all things made by man can have a glitch or a weak point.
Hmm.
So treat your things well. you know because a Ford F-150 will break down. You know what I'm saying? It looks so solid. You know what I'm saying? um but my pieces are solid and strong. So
Now this is a beautiful piece.
Yes, that was a custom order.
That's nice. So what is the orange? The orange stone.
That is a wonderful piece of amber.
Oh.
And then in the middle, you have a garnet, a peridot, and a labradorite bead. And then on the other side, you got a piece of selenite. That is a super bracelet. It's
I see it on the right. Okay.
all in silver. Yes, the woman who she custom ordered that joint. I love putting it on her wrist. She's in Los Angeles. Yeah.
So that's selenite, amber, and the two greens at the top and bottom.
The bottom one is peridot.
Peridot.
And the top is labradorite.
Labrador.
And then that deep red in the middle is garnet. Yeah.
Okay. That is really nice.
Energetic. I had never put that combination of stones together before.
I was going to ask you, did she request those pieces, or did she allow you to just?
We did a reading. I did a reading. I did a reading for her birthday. See, I do consultation. Mm-hmm. So people, people call me up and say, "Hey, bro, getting ready to move to London, and I'm leaving these things behind. I've always wanted to get a piece from you, but the only thing I really got was a couple of little rings. But now I want some stuff to go into my new, my new cycle with, And I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. So I'll ask them a couple of questions, get their birthday, hear a little bit about what they envision happening, where they're going, and then I do my thing and come up with a righteous combination for what they're marching forward into, so they can have the proper talisman. You know what I mean? To harmonize the mind, body, and spirit as they go into this new venture. But sometimes people just give me the birthday. They just give me the birthday and be like, I want something for me. I'm a Leo born on ha, and I need it, and I need something powerful, Amun, and I'll be like, all right, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Leos, they don't need any more energy. Goodness.
Hey, listen, everybody has something that is, the mineral kingdom has a lot of flavors. So there are stones that can help people be more soft, more sweet. There are stones that can assist people in being better listeners. There are stones that can help people in being more vocal. So, that's one thing about this that I like, is that the more I've learned over the years, the more there's an understanding that what we experience as feelings and moods corresponds to the elements. There's a mental correspondence to physical things. That's why somebody can come in the room and somebody will say, why he looking like that? Well, we're looking like what? Right? But you know what you mean when you ask it, because you know what you see.
Right.
What you see is communicating something that you already know and understand. So, our relationship, the physical world is spiritual.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So if there were two bookends, the physical world would be the lower part of the mental realm, and the spiritual world would be the higher part of the mental realm. And the emotions are bouncing between the higher and the lower of the mental realm. You know what I mean? So, different stones also communicate in such ways. Some of them are easy daisy. Some of them are go, 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 go,
So what's the garnet good for?
Garnet is the stone of the serpentine fire. So, we call it, some people call it in the world of chemistry, the cerebral spinal fluid, the vertebrae, some people use the word kundalini to describe the energy that is constantly rolling up and down your spine, from the crown of your head to the base of your spine, and really flowing down your legs to your feet back into the earth. Garnet deals with that energy as a living light impulse coming at your root, right? So some people view the beginning coming from the top and coming down through your being.
Mhm.
Others view the beginning as at your root and growing up like a tree towards the heavens, right?
Okay.
Both things are true.
Mhm.
Garnet represents that root fire first, though. You know, when the Most High said, "Let there be light," right? A lot of people perceive "Let there be light" to mean that the universe was black, and all of a sudden there was just a giant kaboom, and like a light twinkled out of nowhere. Oh
Mhm.
God, gee, that's when the Lord started creating. Okay, maybe so, but if you can't get that part, and you're trying to figure out how can light be born from darkness, well, do things exist in darkness? If you cut out all the lights in your house and it's pitch black in there, does the house instantaneously become empty, or are there still things in the house?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's
So
things in the house.
here on planet Earth,
Mhm.
there's ancient in the Quran. They talk about this, about an ancient meteorite that came from the heavens to the earth, and with it came a certain element, and that element is called iron.
Mhm.
So if you're in the darkness and you rub two pieces of iron together at a very high rate, what happens? They start turning red. They start glowing. Ha! Let there be light out of the darkness. So there's a beginning of the inner fire that starts at the base, and a light that comes from the heavens. Both things are real, right? So
Mhm.
garnet deals with that serpentine fire, that life force growing up from the root, and being filled with that substantial energy, not just spooky wispy energy. The energy, nah, energy for real.
Right.
Not just I feel the energy, but I'm holding it. I got me some energy, right? So yeah, garnet deals with that.
Didn't Earth, Wind, and Fire? Didn't they have a song about the?
Yes, serpentine fire.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Serpentine fire.
Yes, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. Earth, Wind, and Fire stayed lacing
Very
through.
spiritual group.
Earth, Wind, and Fire stayed dropping it. Earth, Wind, and Fire knew about something that's coming up this year. They spoke about it on the album. It's coming up this year. Yep, the August 12th.
What is?
August
What's
August
August?
August 12th is the opening of the vortex. Yeah, August 12th is a real special day. All these things people are talking about on YouTube about parallel Earths and seeing a second sun in the sky, and the the visions of Nibiru when they're looking at pictures. People are seeing the sun at nighttime, and they can see a giant red circle right behind the sun. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the listen, we gonna have to go ahead and act like the Most High's kingdom is complete beyond what they teach you in school. Because once again, the people who control the curriculum be the youngest aspect of humans. That's who they be. They're the youngest breed of humanoids. And so to try to overstand the ancientness of your soul and the planet you live on in their context, you ain't gonna get, even if they decided to tell you
Mm-hmm.
everything they know is 66.6%. Because beyond that, you have to feel it to know it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know?
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, even with
As a,
music, right? Even music is the first thing that shows you that there's things that you can know from the inside out that can be displayed amongst a group of people, and you can tell pretty quickly who also knows it, and you can tell who really don't know it because they can't catch it. It's automatic
mhm.
as soon as it come on. Sometimes I know people who will start singing lyrics to songs that they never heard before because they can feel where the lyrics are going.
Mm.
That's because we're coming from the future to the past. We're not just coming from the past to the future. You
Mm.
know, so what we're experiencing right now is a matrix. It is a vortex of things crystallizing from below to ascending and from above to descending. It's all happening in the now.
You mean that feeling that everyone's feeling right now, but can't really explain what it is, but it's definitely something right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I mean, if they're sensitive enough, because you got to remember that the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth technology is making people numb.
Uh-huh.
It's not working completely, but it is making people numb. So, um, having so much entertainment in your palm of your hand with your phone, in your flat screen TV, um, that keeps people from putting their bare feet on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps people from being outside to smell the information coming from the earth, because the plants and the way that the plants smell is information. Sunlight, even though they're trying to block it out, they can't block it all out. The sunlight is information. Starlight is information. So the more we stay focused and connected to the world made by the Most High and not so tangled up in a man-made world, the more likely it is that we're going to be on point for the miracles that are to come. Versus being like, I don't know what's wrong. Well, get out of the man-made world a little bit. That'll help you to get right. It'll be easier to see what's wrong when you're not bombarded in a world of man-made things. Um, so that's a big part of our awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is definitely connected to us paying attention to nature, and paying attention to Mother Earth, and just going right back to the crystals. The stones are reminders of that connection.
Interesting. So back to August 12th.
Uh-huh.
So August 12th is going to be a portal of some type that,
Yes.
okay.
So to elaborate on that, so there was an experiment done many years ago
Mm-hmm.
called the Philadelphia experiment. And it was what was the day? What was the day? I think, was it August 12th? I think it was August 12th, 1943. I think it was August. I don't know if that exact day is right, but I think it was August 12th, 1943.
Mm-hmm.
And the U.S. military decided to make a battleship called the USS Eldridge. They were trying to make this ship become optically invisible. So they used some technology by a scientist by the name of Nikola Tesla, and they used his generators on this battleship to create a arc, which would basically bend light, and affect other forms of quantum energy to cause this battleship to disappear. So Nikola Tesla told them, "Don't do it." No, no, that's not what he said. He didn't say don't do it. He said, "Don't do it with living personnel on board the ship." Well, they pretty much told him, "We didn't ask you for that much advice. We asked you for technology. Thank you very much." And they did what they wanted to do. So they went ahead forward with this experiment. And when they did it, it worked. But there was a problem. The problem was that when the people at the base on shore were trying to talk to them, they weren't responding. And when they did all the sonar checks, satellite checks, and what have you, the battleship wasn't there at all. It didn't just turn invisible. The ship was actually gone.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, the ship reappeared in the harbor, Philadelphia, um, and people were missing. People were phased into the body of the ship. meaning that the people's bodies had literally shifted dimensions and they became infused to the ship. So, you know, that's very, very horrible to imagine. And then there were people who were on there who gave their testimony. They said people literally phased out. They literally saw people screaming, running, yelling, and people were literally going from physical form to not physical form at all. Does this remind you of a movie you've seen before? Back to the Future. Remember Back to the Future 2 and 3?
I remember Back to the Future.
Yeah, in the Back to the Future versions 2 and 3, he was trying to repair things in the past, and if he didn't repair those things, he started phasing out of existence. Remember, the movies are always mimicking something.
Right.
They're always taking it from something. But so I bring that back to August 12th. So 40 years later, they did another experiment in Westchester, New York. And that was called, what was the name of that project? Where now they were deliberately doing Stargate experimentation on the same date, August 12th, 1983. Because what they had discovered is that every 40 years, there's a huge surge in the Earth's electromagnetic field that gives them opportunities to do things that they like doing on the hyperspace quantum energy tip. So the next one, I'm trying to, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But there's you could, in any case, the next 40-year cycle is August 12th, 2023.
Whoa. That's deep. Okay.
So for all of the people who are dealing with everything from your personal alchemy with your diet to your Qigong, Tai Chi, Zikr, because I'm a big Zikr person. I love the 99 names of Allah and just like holding the tones, and you know, because it's made available for us for a reason, you know. To the ancient Kemetic stuff. We just got to understand that who we call the Most High transcends our languages. So whatever aspects of it you want to use to graduate, it's all good. The as long as your heart is pure and your mind honors order, you're gonna be all right. It's when people be trying to, like, you know, manipulate things to very egocentric and selfish agendas and all of these things. That's when people start getting themselves in a hog tie. You know, keep your heart, your mind pure, stay true, but keep growing. There's no reason why somebody on the other side of the world who happens to have a multi-million-dollar budget can have access to all these special herbs and mushrooms and stuff like that, and they're experiencing the earth in 7D. But we got to be down here talking about we the creations of the Most High, or that we the children of God, but we not ready to expand and do nothing miraculous. This is our time to be miraculous people. And so once again, you know, that the earth supports that. It's just, you know, how serious, I suppose, how serious we take this opportunity to be, you know, healthy, wealthy, wise, magical, beautiful beings, you know, in our Father's house there are many mansions. So there's really a lot. There's really a lot to grow into. You know what I'm saying? There's really a lot to grow into here.
Interesting. Okay, now this is a beautiful piece.
Ooh, yes.
The one on the right with the green. So you have to measure or you would have to know how far the hand is in order for that link right here?
Nah.
So
if a woman sends me a DM and she says, brother, I need me one of them goddess bracelets, And she says, I would like a clear quartz stone and something blue.
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna pull up a lapis lazuli and a nice piece of clear quartz and get ready to rock. And all I'm gonna ask you is, would you consider your hands small, medium, or large?
Okay. Hmm.
Because the pieces are adjustable and the chains aren't exact fit. Like the chains are going to have some breathing room because a person needs to be able to use their hand, make a fist. So there's going to be some slack in the chain. But through my 20 plus years of doing it, I'm quite accurate around sensing. Um, you know, I get good results with my measurements. Small, medium, and large is really all I need.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I really like both of those.
So I was thinking about you earlier. So that's where we going with it. That's what we creating for you.
That's yeah,
I,
I like
oh
that.
yeah, I put some stones to the side for you. I heard everything you said that day. Yeah, I heard you. I got some stones for you. Yeah, we gonna lace you up.
Do you have the Moldavite?
I do have moldavite. The moldavite is small, so that would be for the ring.
I need the Moldavite.
I got you.
So what? Let me now that I'm thinking about it, because everything I think about Moldavite, I think about my son, right? And so a lot of the there's a group here in the DC area where there's a lot of mothers who get together who have lost children to gun violence and things. And so I know the next time that I get with them, I want to recommend a stone that's good for the heart because it's heavy when you've lost a child. It really, really, and not just for mothers, for fathers as well, but for parents who have lost a child. What's a good heart chakra stone?
Put me up on big picture. Put me up on big picture. This right here, malachite. I know some of y'all are already familiar with malachite. This is a nice piece of malachite with a wave of chrysocolla on the side. Malachite. Malachite is the stone of the spiritual warrior, protector of the heart, stone of transformation, helping us understand the energy in the all. That, hey, anything that affects the heart is going to be dealing with a degree of transformation, whether it be soft or whether it be hard, a degree of transformation. And when we're dealing with our people transitioning, for example, and the way that affects the heart, all that is just that you got an agent on the other side that you miss being here. But you got an agent on the other side now. You just miss them being here. But you know what's so real? The same universe that they're in another form is the same universe that we all came from before we had this form.
Right. Yeah, I believe that.
And so malachite is a stone of transformation. It's no coincidence that it's called malachite. It's named after the last chapter of the Old Testament, the prophet Malachi. And the prophet Malachi said what? The opening statement, I came bearing the burden of the truth to the children of Israel. Some of the news we have to hear that's true is a burden. It's not easy to talk about. It's not easy to bear, but it's true. So when receiving that truth, change is imminent. So some of the things that we are going through generally with brothers and sisters, children, parents leaving this planet, all of that is us facing a universal aspect to truth about what life is, and that life goes on, that our experience here on Mother Earth is a lot like a Greyhound station. If this might not even be your final destination. You might be just sitting up here in Richmond for 2 more hours. and then your bus to Atlanta come. And while you get off, you like, all right, man, nice ride with you. They're like, oh man, you off here? Yeah, man, I'm off here. Well, they're going all the way to Tallahassee.
Nicely put.
So what we dealing with in this life, a lot of the partnerships we make are just like that. We're blessed to have people we can ride with along this path, but everybody's not going to Seattle. I know they've been with you for a long time, but they had to get off at Denver. Seattle was, but you might see them again. You know what I'm saying? It's highly likely. Highly likely you're gonna see them again. In another city, a city in the heavens. You know what I'm saying? New Jerusalem, right? Um, so we're living in we are living in eternal life, but we're experiencing it in the human framework. So a lot of the memory loss that comes along with this in particular bubble, this in particular mission comes with memory loss, and making that state of mind absolute. Even though we learn in Islam that nothing is absolute except Allah. Everything else is relative. The only thing absolute is the Most High. So, we have to have an easy heart to not punish ourselves. But going right back to Malachite, it's no coincidence that the stone is named after a prophet. So one of the ones sent just happens to have that name encoded in that stone to help our heart.
That's a pretty stone as well.
Yeah, Malachite is wonderful. And for those who deal with the zodiac aspect of things, Malachite is connected to the energy of Scorpio.
Scorpio.
It deals with transformation and change. That's another piece of Malachite. So these freeform pieces, like if you have sisters and brothers that need something built, I have some Malachite here. I got a Malachite necklace in here. I don't know who it's for, but whoever gonna get this one, Lord have mercy. I love it. It's super powerful. Let's see. Yes. But so, we didn't really dive into the topic, but let me breeze through the topic real quick, because when I start breaking down stones, it's 9:32. I can be on one stone till 10. So I want to breeze through the content that I was going to deliver. The 7 sacred stones for discovering the sacred self, if I may.
Yes.
So we got set. I'm going to show you this Malachite necklace real quick, because how could I talk about Malachite and not show this?
Ooh.
So this piece could be for a sister or a brother, but it's chunky, and the chain is chunky. The chain is chunky too. So, like, if I put this joint on right now, I'm in the house. You feel me?
Nice.
So yeah, this is a Malachite Byzantine link copper chain. Ooh, got a lot of energy on it. As soon as I put it on, I could feel it. It would be overwhelming. With this that I got on and that Malachite chain, I can feel that copper on me. It's something special. But okay, so let's talk about the 7 sacred stones for discovering the sacred self. So to start off, I like to answer the basic questions, right? Well, what do you mean by sacred? Something that is personal and important to the degree that you would take care of it in a way where it's not all about everybody else's opinion. It's not about that. It's something that's close to you. And so the word sacred and the word secret are very connected in that way, that you're keeping it here. You're keeping it close. You're keeping it off. It ain't that you can't share it. It's just that the way you treat it with a great level of respect and honor, right? So we say sacred, the sacred self, right? That there's aspects of how we take care of ourselves, sacred things, to even express, to be clear with that in a world that may make us think that we're all the same and nothing's important except, money and status, right? And looks, appearance, right? But there are sacred processes internal to us. For some of us, we might identify our sacredness with our physical health. Some people identify their sacredness with their sexuality, right? And I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about how they approach their sensual mode, right? Some people's sacredness is in their gifts, right? Like a vocalist, for example. A vocalist who sings on stage and might have special songs they sing to their lover. Special songs they sing to their children, their nieces and nephews, because these are songs that were sang to them by their grandparents. Sacred, You see, of course, sacred items, things that you have a sentimental relationship with, right? There's a lot of aspects to what sacred is for us. Um, but nonetheless, y'all get the idea. So the sacred self is identifying that aspect of yourself that deserves that type of care, that you interact with, you explore, you exercise, you discipline, that you work with in a private space, um, even if it was in public, right? Because when I travel, I see my Islamic family pray in public often because they want to make sure that they do their prayers on time, right?
Mhm.
So even though they're in public, it's still sacred space because it ain't like they just do it in the middle of the walkway. No, they go somewhere where they can mind their business and they won't be disturbed usually, even if it's just a corner of the room or against a wall and a distant from traffic space. So sacredness is sacredness wherever sacredness is, but
Mhm.
how we honor it is the point, right? So that's the sacred self. So when we talk about sacred stones, we're talking about stones that have unique qualities that come from Mother Earth, that come from certain parts of Mother Earth, that when they interact with us, they give us that high quality opportunity and experience to deal with self-discovery. You got that?
Mhm.
Cool. So the first stone that I'm going to mention of these 7 sacred stones, if y'all want to take notes on this, that will be wonderful. Are we recording this, my sister?
Yes.
Okay, so then you can come back and get it again, right?
Okay, before you start, please like the video, please subscribe, please share the video. It will really help out the channel, help out the guests. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So first stone I want to speak on is one that a lot of us may already be familiar with, and that is carnelian.
Oh.
Carnelian, aka carnelian agate, because carnelian is a form of agate, right? So carnelian agate is our first sacred stone, and it's special because carnelian is connected to the sacral chakra, right? That's your belly, that's your belly button, and depending on where you learn from, some people say the sacral is also the root. But good thing is that carnelian deals with both, but especially the navel chakra,
Mhm.
right? Carnelian deals with attraction. It deals with attracting what is necessary, what is needed, right? It deals with recognizing what you need, recognizing what your needs are. As a form of agate, it's also a good stone for focus and concentration and repelling distractions, right? Dealing with what's truly essential, right? But another important thing, and this is where we get into discovery of sacred self with carnelian. Carnelian assists us with not taking things personal, right? Because when we allow ourselves to take people too personally, take things too personally, we get distracted from the work that we're doing on ourselves. We begin to lose ourselves by being caught up on the stimuli that came from someone or something else, right? And so the securing our sacredness is connected to not being so caught up in stimuli that really, when you take it personal, you start to let your heart get in it. Your mood is all changed. You know, the way you execute things, even the tone that you execute in is disturbed now. So carnelian is a great stone for keeping that focus and recognizing what that sacredness is. What am I here for? What am I working on? What am I attracting by the nature of my divine life force? Right? So, big deal with that. Also, carnelian reminds us that all is love and all is seeking a more perfect relationship with love. So it's also known as the stone of understanding,
Mm.
right? You know, don't get so caught up in judging people because we could, in our community we hear this often. He old enough to know better. He a grown ass man. She should know better. Look, all that's real cute, but it's not true. There is no should. Should is a figment of your imagination. And one of my math teachers, Baba Astarius Miraculi, Baba Astarius says, don't should on yourself, because it gets messy.
So it should. It's not good to say someone should know something
It's
at that
no.
age.
Soon as you say someone should something, you automatically bind yourself into assumption because you be thinking that you're right. But there's so much you do not what? You don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
If you had understanding, you wouldn't be consumed with telling somebody what they should and shouldn't do. In
Well, does it
particular,
go back also to what people should and should not know at this stage, especially our people?
well, I don't. Once
The
again,
should. Well, not
when we,
really the should part, but
yes,
that's the wrong word now.
uh-huh,
I do the should because
yes.
even if we're talking,
Should is when we place ideals where ideals do not belong. And so when we have understanding, which is the main point of it is having understanding so that when people don't do things as we would, we begin to understand that there are some differences in their process.
so even what Malcolm used to say about they know not what they do.
Hey, that's biblical. That's biblical. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. That's biblical.
But many do know what they do. They, like Malcolm said, they've been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm. Well, so do we understand why? Because all we're talking about with Carnelian and the sacred process is understanding and how understanding puts you in the now. And when you're living in the now, should either we understand or we're seeking understanding.
Mm-hmm.
This stone is a stone that assists us with that process so that we don't take things so personally. And all of us could use some help with that. That's the thing about knowledge. I have a friend named Zero, and I call him a friend. I guess I only call him a friend because my interactions with him have been good, and I really appreciate what he has to say. He's on Clubhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and the first time I tuned in with Zero, he was just dropping jewels, and he said, "Knowledge is the death of understanding." And he went on to a long diatribe about how all of the arguments, wars, and even things that we crucify ourselves with, it's all about knowledge and what we think we know and or don't know. So getting stuck on the intense, passionate aspect of knowledge and trying to prove our point and prove ourselves, we don't have wisdom. So we experience more turbulence than we experience flow. But when we're experiencing flow, we develop understanding. And so a lot of times the reason why people who are dealing with the conversation of enlightenment sound so soft is because they're in the flow. It's not that people are trying to like people are trying to convince people that everything that they believe in is fake and that they need to just wear pink sunglasses and I don't know, take mushrooms while sniffing Nag Champa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's that people have come to a degree of release and letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And when one releases and lets go, they make space to develop understanding by straight up and down admitting what they don't understand. Now, that don't mean you like it. I'm not saying you gotta like it. Just because you're not judging something, don't mean you like it. If somebody is doing something at the age of 40 and they're acting very juvenile, and you say, "Man, that person should," blah blah blah. Okay, time out. When you say that, are we saying that as a figure of speech because we're used to talking that way, or are we genuinely saying that person should know? There's a lot of ways to use should. We can mean a lot of things by it, but we just want to be cautioned around how we brand people by that. And so I don't want to stay hung up on that. I just want to say that carnelian deals with understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And when we graduate to that understanding, we get past certain mental, emotional obstacles that keep us stuck on one aspect of time, one aspect of mind, and in particular, caught up in expectations and caught up in assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's carnelian, a good friend. A good exercise with carnelian is to put carnelian when you're laying on your back at nighttime, put carnelian over your belly button and hold your hands over your belly button with the carnelian and just breathe and just let the energy balance. And if you want to put word power to it, you can say, I release all unnecessary judgments and I accept great understanding, overstanding, and understanding so that I can be in the flow, you know?
Okay.
And just use that tool because all of us could use some more flow, you know. So that's sacred stone number 1, carnelian.
All right. Then you.
I have some loose pieces of carnelian, so if you need something creative with carnelian, I got you. Sacred stone number 2, my buddy, muggle stone.
What is that?
Muggle stone.
Huh.
Muggle stone. Now on my list, it's actually muggle stone / tiger's iron. Right.
Oh.
So this is ancestralite, which is
Ooh.
also another form of tiger's iron. And ancestralite, this is the last surviving piece. I made some ancestralite rings, and soon as I put them up, people bought them. Every time I made it, as soon as I put it up, you know. So I kept this piece, but it's going to be a ring soon, and it's probably going to fly at the same speed as the others. But both of these are forms of tiger's iron. The difference between ancestralite, which is like a very grayed out hematite tiger's ivory. It's really, ancestralite is really muggle stone, but it's just lighter in the jaspers. Whereas muggle stones got a lot more jasper in them. But it's still a mixture of tiger's eye, hematite, and jasper. Ancestralite, sacred self we're talking about, right? Ancestralite deals with manifestation. It deals with manifestation in a very rooted way. It's very grounding, you know. Ancestralite reminds us that we are tangible for a reason. Don't be so lost in the mind that your earthly value is not delivered. You are sacred. Thousands and thousands and thousands of ancestors been cheering you on to finally get your chance to be an earthling. Now you here. Go ahead and manifest. Muggle stone. Got that hematite in there, so that grounding, that self-confidence is in there. The jasper is all in there. Jasper is the supreme nurturer. That's the Mother Earth stone, the cultivator, the protector, the caretaker. And then tiger's eye is in there too. Motivate the mind. Develop that thought process. You got a bright idea? Yeah. Well, put some bells and whistles on it. You know, Batman had a utility belt way back in the day when it was just boom, pow, wham. Remember the old Batman and Robin show?
Right.
He had a utility belt and he pulled a little something out, hit him with pop, boof, bam, right? But go ahead and read a comic book now, a Batman comic book now, and find out what he got in the belt. Homie got everything in the belt now. He's developed that thought. It was just a couple of little trinkets when he was just a new character. But Batman in 2023, that belt got Batman got a ring made of kryptonite inside his belt. That if he got a sucker punch Superman, he ready.
I hear you.
So the sacred self, a big part of your sacred self is that you're a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
You really are. You are the savior of your bloodline.
Yes.
And getting caught up in capitalism, getting caught up in society, it sidetracked us from our essential gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Mugglestone is about you manifesting from the inside out, the real you. Ain't nothing wrong with getting your paper, though. Go on ahead and get it. Just be the whole and true and complete you while you're doing that. I love this stone. It's one of my favorite stones. I think I have 2 more of these chunky Muggle stone pebbles left. I really hope that the woman that I was getting them from in Tucson, Arizona comes next year, because I didn't see her last year. And yeah, these are to the spiritual part of spiritual family that I bring to my TV is the Temple of Soul family, which, you know, my sister Arsette has been a member of the Temple of Soul family for years. Yeah. My sister. But Muggle stone is a special stone to the Temple of Soul family. A good thing to do with Muggle stone is to sit on it, put it right at your perineum point.
Okay.
And sit on it and just, you know, manifest. Do your Kegel exercises, strengthen your sphincter, and let that energy charge up from your base while at the same time you are manifesting greatness. Yes. So that is sacred stone number 2, the manifester, Muggle stone. Sacred stone number 3. You see that?
What is that? Is that? I can see it, but I can't. What is it?
That is an obsidian crescent. The next sacred stone is obsidian.
Obsidian.
Yep, obsidian, volcanic glass. And I got a bunch of pieces. So I got 2 of these obsidian crescents that I have an idea what I want to do with them, but they're so complex. The design that I want to make is so complex that I've been like backing up off of it. Like, man, do I feel like doing that right now? But if y'all say, hey, I need something made with that obsidian crescent, then I'm at work. And I got a couple pieces of obsidian right. I got a nice raw chunk of obsidian right here.
Ooh. Nice.
And then my favorite piece of obsidian in my present collection.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's cold. That's a cold piece right there. Obsidian is so mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? That is a saying that people who dealt with what they call Wicca, which is really just earth magic. The obsidian mirrors were actually made of obsidian glass, but obsidian has very deep spiritual characteristics dealing with Mother Earth and how Mother Earth communicates consciousness. Just in case we think that we're like Allah didn't know what the substance of our form was when the breath of life was breathed into man and man became a living soul. Do you think the breath of life would be breathed into something that didn't have energetic qualities to carry it? Surely the breath of life transformed everything it touched. That's no question. But I'm pretty sure that the container was brilliantly designed and wisely chosen. So obsidian is a form of volcanic glass. And of course, any of y'all who have even for a second pondered the power of a volcano, you could probably understand that there's great power in Mother Earth that affects life for many, many, many cycles, right?
Right.
Obsidian is the stone of protection. Obsidian for our sacred self work. Obsidian deals with facing your fears. Obsidian deals with facing your fears. Obsidian deals with truth for real truth, not dogma truth, not truth that you heard from something and your belief system says. No, 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 no. We talking about truth that's different than that. We talk about truth that penetrates to your soul in the now, not comparative information. No, we talking about truth. Obsidian goes in. Obsidian to tell you, you've been on bullshit for a couple of years. You picked that habit up from your cousin when y'all was 17 years old, running around in the summertime, blah, 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 blah. And you've been running around carrying her energy for the last 24 years. And you ain't never shake that spirit. Obsidian gets in you energetically. Obsidian goes through them layers. There's a form of obsidian called rainbow obsidian that really goes through like your 7 chakras. Even though all obsidian will do it because it's a black stone. But rainbow obsidian is another form of obsidian that will do it in with a different vividness, right? But obsidian, facing your fears, dealing with them shit that people talk about the shadow work. Oh, baby.
Yes. Ooh, right.
Yeah, face them truths. Don't be scared. Trust Allah. Trust the Most High. Trust the Most High. Know that those fears you're facing, that on the other side of it is a more powerful, more complete, and a more perfect servant that is you. But we know that planet Earth, living on this planet, is also like having tickets to a carnival. And there's a lot of things you can do on Mother Earth as an experience and as an experiment. But this stone here will help you to be clear on where you may have lost yourself and therefore where you may find yourself. Very important. This is the first stone. Even though I didn't do them in the order of my list, this is the first stone on my list that this in particular session with me is about. When I came up with the name Discovering the Sacred Self, 7 stones, obsidian is stone number 1.
Okay.
Face the music. Y'all know the saying, do what's hard now and things will what? Be easy later. Do all the easy stuff now and things are what? Be more difficult later. So obsidian help you go ahead and do that hard work so that you can be in your flow for real, and not be caught up on your old fears. Yeah. Great stone. But it's also a protection stone too. People throwing ill energy at you, obsidian is like you got Arthur Ashe smacking it right back to him with love. Get that out of here. Back. Send that energy right on back where it came from. Obsidian is good for that. And even with people who are dealing with what they call witchcraft, people trying to put shit, they don't want nothing with that obsidian problem.
I love it.
They don't want nothing with the obsidian problem.
Okay.
Obsidian.
Wow.
And when it comes to even deeper levels of people who might be energy vampires or people throwing energy at you, and that's another reason why carnelian is so important, because when a person doesn't take things personally, they're less vulnerable to those type of things. When you're sensitive and emotional and your buttons are easily pushed, then people can connect to like connecting a Geppetto string to a puppet. Because knowing your triggers is knowing your sensitivity, and they're basically manipulating you through volatile connections. But as soon as you turn on your I don't give a F, as soon as you let go on that level, a lot of the drama just fall right off.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't yours to begin with. It wasn't your drama to begin with. It was something that you connected your energy to, for whatever the reason might be. I need to find a charger because my phone is about to be like wink. So give me 1 second to
Okay.
get my extension cord, and then that way I can keep on rocking. And we got a few more stones to go, but we almost done. 1 second.
All right. So we'll go through some of his stones and his creations again. Are all so beautiful. I have actually purchased. I've been purchasing from him for at least 20, maybe almost 20 years. So I know that I don't have one of the pieces that he made for me, but when he sends me pieces, they are so powerful. When you put them on, you can feel the vibration, and mainly because of his energy. Like he has really good energy. This calcite, I definitely got from him. I've had this piece right here for at least 10 years. Really, really good piece. And then, of course, the amethyst. It's a really good stone. Like you can wear these, ladies, in your bra. Sometimes just put it in your bra. Very, very high vibrational stones to put in your front. And here's my tiger eye. Always like the tiger eye. And
Okay, I am back and charging at the same time, so we are good.
here's a pink stone. This looks like a kind of like, wait a minute, like that piece right there.
I am ready to dive back in. Should I continue?
Yes.
Okay. I know you were showing off some of your goodies.
Yeah, I was.
That's what's up. Okay, so we started with carnelian, and then we dealt with the muggle stone. Then we spoke on the obsidian. Next up is my baby,
Uh-oh.
Larimar. Larimar.
Larimar.
Larimar. Larimar. Larimar.
Okay.
Larimar is a beautiful, beautiful stone, and it is rare. It only comes from the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Only? Really?
That's it. Larimar is more expensive than the average stone. For the last 4 years, the price has gone down a bit, but I am pretty much certain that they're going to close those mines soon. And when they close those mines, yeah. So right now, this piece of Larimar, for example, this piece retail. This is probably about 42 grams. So this is like $130 piece of Larimar. When they close their mines, this piece of Larimar will be about $400.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's rare like that. So Larimar, we're talking about the sacred work of Larimar. Larimar is considered the healer of the new age. The new age healer. If you could put me back on big screen real quick. Thank you.
Sure.
The new age healer, Larimar. Larimar is really all this goddess talk that people are talking. You know, all the goddess. This right here, it's a very goddessy stone. Very goddessy. Deals with that Het Heru energy of education through celebration. Let the new world evolve with a smile. Teach it through rhyme, teach it through dance, teach it through song, teach it through the harmonious interaction of all things, right? They also refer to Larimar as the dolphin stone. You know, if you've ever done any research or watched any documentaries about the children who were born with dolphins at dolphin coves, how those children grew up to have extrasensory gifts, ended up being super smart. The deliveries were really, really easy for the mothers. The presence of those dolphins overstand they know who and what they are energetically. So they know how to communicate through the water vibrations. This stone is on that level. So when we're doing the sacred work on ourselves around harmonizing, living in our divine flow, being good, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto thee. Well, is heaven someplace way up in the sky, or is heaven someplace in us? So this stone deals with that, tuning into the heaven within and living like it, acting like it, loving like it, sharing like it, making that heavenly quality a part of your whole practice. Ooh, sacred self. Go ahead. Just say, ooh, sacred self. Say it to yourself. You know, say, I am sacred. You know that about yourself. I am sacred. You know, I'm activating my sacred self, my divine self. I'm discovering. You know, so Larimar is a very special stone. Larimar is also a stone for awakening your sacred gifts. So in the Kemetic tradition, this is connected to Het Heru, but it is also connected to Seshat. You know, Seshat, who would be considered the goddess or the Neter of gifts, of natural born gifts. You know, tapping into those things, expressing those things. You don't have those gifts for nothing. Don't let the world of career trick you out of your gifts. I'm not going to use my gift because that's not my career choice. You wasn't given your gift because of career. You got a reason for having those gifts. Use them. You know, so yeah, sacredness. You're very sacred, but the art inside of you, you are a creative being one way or another. Share your gifts. Yes. And understand that you are pivotal. Positive change to the world. Larimar is the new age healer, the new age teacher. So yeah, Larimar, wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Next sacred stone, since we in such a beautiful place. Since we in such a beautiful place, how could we even play around and talk about sacred stones and sacredness and not mention the good homie lapis lazuli? Blew up the spot. Yeah, that y'all can see. Y'all see the reflection of the phone off the stone. Let's go. Lapis lazuli, such a sacred stone. My dreams are relevant. Discovering the sacred self. Know that your dreams are relevant. Larimar is not. Wow, I'm all in the L's. Lapis lazuli is a stone of the dream self. And guess what you're living in right now? This whole thing is a dream. Seeing our images on a phone right now and hearing the actual sound that I'm saying, all this stuff is because it's all in the dream. It's just a substantialized dream. It's just a dense dream. But lapis lazuli deals with the higher mind, deals with the power of telepathy, deals with the power of your higher self dreaming into your awakened state. So it is a stone for the third eye, and it's a stone for the throat chakra. Sometimes I refer to it as the Gabriel stone, even though I have another stone I call the Gabriel stone too. But you know, the breath of life was what? Was blown into man, and man became a living soul. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. The breath of life was blew into man. And man became a living soul, right? So which chakra is blue? The throat chakra. That which connects the heavens, which is the head, and the earth, which is the body. So yeah, Very powerful dream stone. Always reminding us that our visions, our dreams can come true.
Mm.
But because it's dealing with the higher mind, it's also dealing with reasoning. So we're not just goofy dreamers. You know what I'm saying? Even though dreams can be fantastic because they exist in the higher dimensional forms, so they're not subject to the same laws as this realm that our bodies are living in.
Mm.
But when dealing with righteousness and reason, you can bring anything to manifestation. Everything around you that you see right now is a dream come true. The clothes you're wearing, somebody thought about and felt about. The house you're in, somebody thought about and felt about. All the items that surround you in your house are some things that people thought about and felt about. And if those things are relevant enough to be manifested, then surely the things that you're dreaming about are relevant too. So lapis lazuli reminds us of the power of our vision and the power of our communication, both vocally and telepathically, you know. And of course, blue is the color of the archangel Gabriel. So, you know the saying, y'all heard it before. If you ain't got nothing nice to say,
Shh.
that's right. Don't say that at all. Right? So it deals with righteous conviction, right? Righteous conviction. What's on your mind? Righteousness. Things that are good, things that are uplifting, things that improve the situation. You know, that's why one of the things that we hear often that I love hearing. Hey, how you doing today? I can't complain. Then there some people add another thing on, and if I did, what nobody want to listen anyway, right?
Sure.
Um, now even though sometimes you got to vent, I get that, but
Mm.
what the point is that if you focus your communication in the right direction, you increase the likelihood of being in the right place at the right time.
Mm.
And that's, hey, if that ain't sacred, I don't know what is. What? So yeah, but understand the orchestration of the words that become flesh and also the vision, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, lapis lazuli. And yeah, and I got a couple of different sizes and shapes of lapis lazuli. I got a lapis lazuli sphere. I got
Mm.
some lapis lazulis that I make some cold rings out of. But of course, it's a third eye and throat chakra stone. So I've made some awesome lapis lazuli necklaces. My queen has a tough lapis necklace I made for her about 3 years ago. All right, moving on. How many stones left? I think we only got two left, right? We did. Let's see. We did Muggle stone. We did carnelian. We did obsidian. We did uh, lapis lazuli. Um, we did
Larimar.
we did Larimar. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got two more left. Well, guess what the next one is? I know somebody probably already know because I know I gotta mention this one. Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
When I say Amy, you say theist. Amy theist. Amethyst.
Yes.
Yes. My good
Nice
friend,
piece.
my good friend Amethyst. And I also have where's that?
That's a nice piece. Mm.
Yes, this is an amethyst rod. Amethyst. Going back to your sacred process again. The word amethyst means to sober.
Too sober.
Yes. To
Ooh. Mm. That is
you want a
nice.
big screen that for the people?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. That's a amethyst on a Byzantine chain. Yep. Amethyst means to sober. So amethyst is a great stone for us to calm the bleep down. Likened unto carnelian with not taking things personal. But carnelian is more on the don't take things personal on the emotional tip. Amethyst is more don't allow those things to scramble your mind. Amethyst deals with the mind, third eye in the crown, right? Organization, patience, peace of mind, meditation. Amethyst helps you to not take the stimuli from the outside world all into your personal space. And of course, amethyst comes much smaller than this. This is just my display piece. I sell these too, but most of the time people want small pieces. But amethyst for your personal practice. This is the stone that brought me in. Going back to what you asked me at the very beginning of the interview. Amethyst is the stone that got me all into. It's like the stone that initiated me, right? And a lot of people have been initiated into crystals by amethyst. The top four that I feel have initiated people into the crystal life are amethyst, rose quartz, tiger's eye, and clear quartz.
Mm.
Those four are the most commonly referenced ones. Because people who ain't into stones at all know tiger's eye. People who are barely into stones know amethyst.
Mm.
People who just started trying stones usually either have rose quartz or clear quartz. And then after those, the next one they tend to learn about is either aventurine or citrine. But amethyst, yes, amethyst is the meditation stone. If you want to spend some time with amethyst, you could put amethyst under your pillow and you will have, same thing with lapis lazuli. You could put amethyst or lapis under your pillow and your dreams will get real vivid. You'll be able to you'll wake up and be like, yo, like I was just there. Like I was just there. And I've been having some deep dreams lately. I really need to have a dream journal because there's been a lot of water and interesting buildings and Donald Trump and cousins that I ain't seen in a long time. My dreams have been real lately. But amethyst helps you with order of the mind. Order of the mind. And in particular, once again, going back to the meaning of the word amethyst, to sober. Meaning not to be intoxicated with the influences of the world that surround you. This is important. How do you keep yourself sacred if what everybody else is saying, doing, and thinking is all in your head all the time? See, the carnelian deals with not taking it personal, but the amethyst deals with not holding on to it in your head. Like get them voices out your head, yo. Sober up. It also helps you to break bad habits. That's why people, of course, smoky quartz is another stone for breaking bad habits. Smoky quartz and amethyst are like roommates. Like they're both forms of quartz that just developed a slight bit different. Smoky quartz more with the carbon, amethyst more with the lithium.
Lithium.
That's where the purple comes from.
So where's amethyst found? What part?
All over the world, but I believe that the piece I'm holding now comes from Uruguay, South America.
Nice.
But they got some good amethysts in Brazil too. Yep, and there's amethyst in the United States, all around Arkansas, northern Pennsylvania, New York, that the Appalachians up on that New York side. Yep. But yes, so amethyst, big deal. Also, amethyst is a great stone for, once again, you got an ache, your body is aching, your headache. Amethyst upside the head. The vibrational relationship is amazing. These things are vibrating. They talk to your cells. Once again, what's going on in your body? Microscopic forms of what I have in my hand. So when things are order, which that the amethyst deals with, order and organization. When things are orderly, a lot of times when things are at ease, there is no more dis-ease. So that order is a big deal. Amethyst, For your sacred self, honor the order. All great things are developed from a foundation of great order. Even great spontaneity comes out of things that are well organized. I'm learning that on my chess game. um, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got one more stone. And where you at? Where you at? Oh yeah. Seventh sacred stone. Now, I'm going to introduce two stones in the seventh spot, because there's one that was on my original list, and then there's one that came because I really got a chance to ponder. So the one that I started with
What's that?
is pyrite. Pyrite, the solar plexus stone. The word pyrite means firestone. I actually got a couple of tough. I don't know if they might be downstairs. Y'all have seen it before. They also refer to pyrite as fool's gold. And yeah, pyrite is the stone of action. Don't just keep sitting around and thinking about it. Get to it. Pyrite is an action stone. Pyrite deals with not allowing yourself to just keep sitting on your behind and being inactive. You know, pyrite is the stone of the inner fire. And this is important to what we call sacred, because people hear the word sacred and think it's all about sitting around and being meditative. I'm sacred. Nah, practice, faith backed by works. Pyrite is the stone that deals with the works, putting that work in, getting to it and doing it. You understand? Pyrite connects to the solar plexus. Excellent for self-discipline. Excellent for the memory. You know? And just to understand that this is another iron crystal. So hematite, the one we showed earlier, hematite would be the magnetic expression of iron as a mineral. Pyrite would be the electric expression of iron as a mineral. So we know that we are electromagnetic beings. Those of you who have been doing your studies with Dr. Sebi and him speaking on having an electric diet, well, this is an electric stone, right? So it deals with that surge of energy that's flowing through your body. Good for the nervous system, once again, good for the immune system. But for your sacred self, this is the get up and go stone. This is the Heru for my Kemetic family. This is the Heru stone, the golden light. Right? So yeah, be about it. That's what pyrite reminds us. Be about it. So very important stone. But that was the original seventh stone. But the seventh stone that became the seventh stone is this one right here. And that is called bismuth. Bismuth, aka the Stargate stone. So the sacred science behind bismuth is that we're living in a time where there is some high technology being developed, but it's still all external. It's still the way that they're applying it. It needs us to agree to those little agreements that be on, like they have you sign those agreements online so that they can get all in your personal life and stuff. Just technology. But bismuth is an element, but bismuth does not look like this in its first manifestation in nature. What they do is they melt bismuth down. And then after they melt it, they cool it. And when it cools, it recrystallizes itself into this form. Now, if you can see at that really closely, or if you look up bismuth, bismuth is really beautiful. and it grows in fractals. So what you're seeing when you look at it is the molecular structure of the stone. You're literally seeing the molecular structure of the stone in a more sacred geometric pattern, right? This stone is a stone that's good for translocation of your energy, your influence, and your mind. So a big part of what we call sacred is our ability to heal and pray for and influence other people. Bismuth is one of the stones, and I would say it's the keystone, the primary stone to us being able to send our signal. Assist us. We can already do it. It's already a part of us because every element that I've named tonight is already inside of us on a molecular level. But to have this as one of your accomplices, when you're doing any type of internal work that deals with transmission, or awareness of more than the space that your body is presently sitting in, bismuth helps you with that. The important part of bismuth is to also understand that there's a saying in my spiritual order: I am in the all and all is in me. I'm a part of the all and all is a part of me. I'm one with all and all is one with me. I am never alone. This stone here will also help you understand that your consciousness is much more than the consciousness that's inside of your body. Your consciousness is much more than the consciousness that is inside of your body. Your DNA is very much structured in a way similar to bismuth. Well, guess how many members of your family have your DNA? Imagine how many members of your family you don't even know yet that are also resonating with your DNA. Imagine how the quantum physics in the universe carry the signal of your DNA in other parts of the universe. When we deal with I am, when we deal with Allah, well, if you're an English person who doesn't know English, doesn't know Arabic, this sounds a whole lot like Allah, not summer, not a little bit Allah, right? So as we graduate in our consciousness and our sacred self, our universal sense of being confident in knowing that even if we only deal with the earth plane as the relevant part of the all, because some people are like, all that universal stuff, I can deal with, my city. I can deal with my house. I can deal with, some people are just like that. Cool. But the responsibility that comes along with some of the expansion that's available for us right now is big picture. It's really big picture. Some of us are eagles, some of us are falcons, some of us are hawks, and we have a bird's eye view of a very wide landscape. What we survey is a part of what we are meant to influence. Bismuth reminds you that you are an eye in the sky as well, and you don't need no satellite to be it. You can pray and have effects over great spaces. Use the tools. Be reminded of your greatness because you are sacred, you are powerful, and you have no reason to doubt yourself. You got the gifts. Use them. So that's bismuth and pyrite to seal up number 7 of our 7 sacred stones. And yeah, I'm here. I'm available if you need to get some of these stones. If you need me to put together a little power pack for you, I can do that. But I make the wearable talismans too. So if you want to go ahead and rock something, I'm available for that as well.
Wonderful. We're winding down.
Yes.
You can look at the bottom of the screen and find all the contact information. We're going to have you back on because we need this at this time in our lives where there's so much going on. And so these 7 stones, or really 8 stones. I'm going to definitely go back and study and try to find one I resonate with. But I definitely like the bismuth. That is just stunning,
Your bismuth is
different.
very special. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
always.
Thank you so much. It's been great. You know, like when you called me, I was like, it's been we've been on about to do this. So today is step 1.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again, and we will see you soon.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Zodiac.com, Temple of Soul on Instagram, and y'all got the email address. Y'all have a wonderful, strong end, and be independent for your own reasons as July comes in. All right?
Yes. Love you, my brother.
Love you, my sister. Easy.